I don't know. What would yours be?
I have no clue. I don't even know why I asked that without having an answer.
Oh, a good intro song. That's a good question. I watch a lot of fights.
Do you watch a lot of fights?
Yeah, like UFC and like boxing stuff. You don't have to sit back like me. You can like sit up, or like you can communicate whatever aesthetic.
I would like to sit back, please.
Okay, that's fine.
Support my back.
For sure.
This morning I went to acupuncture and cupping.
How was that? Do you have the bruises?
I sure do.
That's what's up.
Yeah, cupping.
But you believe in that stuff?
Well, it was suggested by my MD.
Huh. Okay.
Yeah, to do to release the fascia.
Sure. Fascia manipulation is important.
So I do that, and tomorrow I get a massage.
Now, massage I believe in.
A myofascial massage. A myofascial release massage.
Are you getting scraped?
I got scraped today.
Nice.
Hopefully I get scraped tomorrow.
You don't look... They did your back?
Yeah, why? What am I supposed to look like?
You should have like some bruising or like
There is underneath.
Okay.
There is. It's just
you got on the girl wife beater, so I felt like I would see it.
This is like the fourth time that you've criticized my outfit.
Calling that a girl wife beater is not criticizing your outfit.
I feel like you're just never happy.
No, I don't give a fuck. not like that, but I mean like your outfit doesn't like.
Tell me how you really feel, Jared.
It doesn't affect me one way or another. Do we have a name for this, or are we just like talking? Because we're recording.
What would be a name?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
Andrea.
Yeah, do you remember how we met?
Not really.
It was definitely high school, obviously.
Not really. My strongest memories of you are probably from like sophomore year in history class.
I think that's where we met. Did we meet? Could we have met freshman year?
I don't think so.
No, I don't think so. Yep, history class.
Yeah.
And I definitely had a printout then.
A printout?
Yeah, like everything was always done.
Maybe.
All my
I don't
work
know.
was done.
I don't know. You also like.
Watch out. What are you gonna say about me?
You also were like really nice with our history teacher, Mr. Dixon.
How was I nice? I don't know. Did my work.
In however you're nice.
I just didn't give him a hard time.
Okay. Which in that class
was nice.
There wasn't a lot of not giving him a hard time.
I just literally did my work, and I enjoy history and learning about history.
That's beautiful. It's great. Actually, that's marvelous.
You copied my work a lot.
In history class?
I believe so.
Not at all.
Yeah, because you were not paying attention most of the class.
It's not true. It's not true. History class, I did good on that on my own because I liked to argue with Mr. Dixon.
I don't remember you paying attention. You definitely argued with him. Poor
but
guy.
it was like debate though. Like we embraced it.
Why?
You're thinking more like Daryl and Eric. I think Gerald might have been sitting in the front of that class. Like that class had a lot of personalities.
And I was right in the middle.
I understand why you might be
I was just
misremembering.
Quiet. I was literally just quiet the entire time. I listened to my headphones.
Okay.
And did my work.
Maybe you did.
I really did.
You sat amongst the mess though.
I did sit amongst the mess.
Okay.
And I talked to everybody.
Okay. So now we go from you sat quietly to you talk to everybody. I just want to keep people abreast
like
of what your version of the truth is.
You know, like with everybody's filing in the class, I was definitely the first one in the class.
I don't know about that part, but maybe, okay.
I was definitely the first one in the class, and everybody would file in the class, and I would make small talk. And then people would, and then chaos would ensue.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. He could not speak without you guys.
Maybe. I also think that
you challenged the curriculum.
I mean,
you would be like, "Oh, that's how it happened." And I'd be like, "Can we just get through the lesson?"
From what it sounds like, there needs to be more of me out there because they're trying to erase history right now, man.
They really are.
Bong bong.
That was intense.
Yeah.
It is, but it's been happening over time. People have ignored it.
ignoring it. You're right.
It happened little by little.
We're talking about people beginning to erase history?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I believe it happened little by little. I don't think it was just one swoop.
We definitely went through a phase where it was like cool to uncover stuff about history.
Learning
or about...
was like learning. I think we went through a phase where it was funded.
Okay. Maybe. Like, so like.
I'm very serious.
When we were in high school,
where it was funded.
Like I was like the kids like me who were like, man, Columbus Day was some bullshit. It was like a few of them, but it wasn't a lot of them.
I was definitely one of them. I wrote my local library.
Okay. And then as we got older, like that kind of like, you know, we got Indigenous Day and like stuff like that. But I don't know where the shift turned. I guess we can, if we want to put it on like Trump's first presidency or something like that, is where it kind of turned into like, hey man, like you should don't talk about the bad stuff so loud. You should whisper the bad stuff. So I don't know.
I think that's been a sentiment, and it just got louder with the presidency. It just got less covered.
Okay.
But I think it's always been present. And I think that it's been happening. I think that it started when extreme religion started. In like evangelists.
But that's like.
Are those the extreme religions?
I don't know. There's a lot of. One of them. I think you can put extremists at the end of every religion.
Well, I think
Muslim extremists. Right now, there may be some. Well, I don't want to end the podcast before it starts, but you have Muslim extremists.
There's extremists in every culture, religion, and everything.
Just leave it at that.
Well, no, it's true. In every part of life, there's going to be an extreme.
True. I'm just saying we don't have to list all of them off and then like.
No, you don't have to list all of them off. I don't know them all by name. But there's extreme. I think it's what happens when we mix our identity with belief.
Okay.
And then mix it with political belief.
Okay.
Like there should definitely be a separation, don't you think?
What are your political beliefs? Who would you what party would you say you belong to? You don't have to answer this too, you know.
I would say that I'm probably too left for all of the politics that are in the United States. Yeah.
But that's where you live, so. So you would you say you're a leftist extremist?
No, I wouldn't say I'm extreme in anything. I just think people should be treated well.
An extreme leftist?
No, I think people should be treated well. And I think that we've skewed our politics to think that they're only this or that.
Do you think it's incumbent on the person to make sure they live well or the government to make sure they live well?
I think that our government should definitely take care of people who need help. I don't know what that looks like, but I will say that I think that we are only as strong as we treat our weakest. Okay. And so because of that, I think that's why we have a government. I mean, we pay them to work and do that stuff and fill in the gaps and the holes and make sure we're taken care of.
Does that make you a communist?
I don't think so. And I think communist is a financial structure.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
But you're kind of talking about finances when you're saying that, like...
No, I'm just saying what the function of a government should be. I think about this a lot, and I really think it should be to help some of our weakest. I think that is the function of a government, and I think that's what it's been traditionally and anciently. Okay,
when you say weakest, what do you mean by that?
People who are disabled. People who are born... Well, that's one example.
Okay.
But how do we treat single mothers?
Okay.
There's just various examples of how we treat people who are disenfranchised.
Okay. And the first examples you mentioned were single mothers and disabled
people who are disabled. Mm-hmm. People who had tragic accidents. I think those are the ones that would garner the most empathy, but then there are more categories that garner less empathy. Like people with severe illnesses or mental illness, I think that doesn't garner as much empathy, but are definitely important. Okay.
What about impoverished communities and lack of education?
Included.
Okay. Okay.
So in order, I think that's where everything starts, is by educating our youth and our women and men, of course. But studies have shown that if you educate women, men will be educated as well. It's in biology books. I didn't make this up.
Okay. I'm not gonna argue with your biology books. Okay.
I think that's like our education systems, of course, they have to be fixed. And we have to start feeding people so much better.
Okay, and feeding people.
You don't think so?
Sure. Sure. This may be a controversial take. I don't know if people know how to eat.
No, people don't know how to eat. I agree. I think
RFK and his suggestion to make certain items not available if you are on SNAP or like financial like food benefits. Not the worst thing I've heard.
You think so?
Yeah.
I think people have the right to choose.
Even if you're supplying it.
Why was there such a long pause?
Because I believe people have the right to choose too.
I think
but also I think that
I think that it's very bold to say that for the most impoverished, we're going to restrict and make you the healthiest. I think that's really bold.
I mean, I don't know about making you the healthiest, but
even
if you are that impoverished to where we have to give you money to buy food specifically, I think you may also need some education as to the best foods to buy.
But why aren't we doing that for everyone then? Why are we saying that we need to restrict these terrible foods for everyone? Why are we only targeting the impoverished?
I don't think we're targeting the impoverished.
I mean, it's targeted to people who are impoverished.
I think we're putting I don't think it's targeted. I think we are setting a precedent and putting putting parameters on how you use our assistance.
Right, and I think that if we're so concerned about their health because we're paying for their health, and we're paying because we're assuming that they also receive medical benefits, I'm guessing.
That too. I mean, that makes it even more necessary.
And right, so we deem it necessary, but why only for this group of people? Why not for everyone? Because other countries have done it. So I'm not just pulling from like the fact that, I'm not trying to be like devil's advocate. Other countries do it. They say we ban this color, we ban this food dye, we ban XYZ because they're harmful to our people.
I agree with all that. I don't think it should be available. You're absolutely correct. I don't think it. Sure.
So my issue is you're targeting people who are impoverished.
No, we're not, because it's not
to qualify for these programs is to be below so much of the poverty line.
Okay. That's a truth.
And that's a qualifier. So then if I'm saying this group of people cannot have access to this food, whatever it might be, I'm saying I'm targeting people who are impoverished. And then what's the next group that we target?
So in one breath you say it shouldn't be available, which I agree with. Other countries take these things away and they shouldn't be available.
What was taken away?
Like whatever red dye is associated with like cancer and ADHD.
You know what also makes me upset about this?
All these different names for sugar, a lot of these different products and stuff. Like there's products that are sold that are the same in America and in like Europe, but in Europe they don't include the same ingredients.
My issue is that it's targeting impoverished people. Do it for everyone.
Okay, sure, but that's you're still not addressing like the first part, which is if you are at a point where the government has to give you money to buy food, saying that there's only certain food that you can buy isn't targeting them. It's putting parameters behind the aid that we're giving.
I feel like that's blaming the person and not looking at the system.
How is that blaming the person, giving them healthier food options?
Saying that because you are a part of the system deems that you are unable to make decisions for yourself, and that's not necessarily the case.
It's not you can make the decisions for yourself, within these items. Have you?
Yes, and I think that is poverty politics.
Okay.
Because I think that some people are allowed. I think no matter what socioeconomic status you have been born into, you're allowed to taste quality items, and you're allowed to indulge, and you're allowed to make bad choices, even if they are bad choices.
Okay.
The only difference between us and people who have money is that they have money to get out of their bad choices. So they have all the money to get all the surgeries or have access to the chefs and the high-end food and get out of the bad mistakes that they make.
And now we're giving impoverished people.
And the amount that we actually put towards these programs is minuscule. And that's what also really makes me upset, is that we put so much towards military and we put so much towards these other parts of government, and we're not putting them towards education and the things that can change all of these situations. Because arguing about the food that they eat is not going to change the outcome of poverty.
Okay.
Don't just say okay.
No, because you've okay. Because you've either like changed or avoided the topic a couple times.
I did not change or avoid
So
the topic.
I
just refuse to be baited into. I said baited.
Go ahead. I'm just
Blaming impoverished people.
I'm not blaming anyone.
Yes, it does. It sounds like you're blaming them.
I'm totally not.
Because on like the scale of healing, the things we choose to focus on are bizarre. Like that we should be worried that everybody has stable, healthy housing.
Okay.
Like, let's put our energy into that and be so appalled when people do not have stable housing or like mold in their homes.
Okay.
That's what we should like focus the energy on.
Okay.
But we think that if we change this one part of the diet for the chronically impoverished, we're going to save them.
The same can be said for you saying mold or whatever.
Oh my God, mold is so bad.
Oh my God, the diets and the shit that they spend their link cards on is so bad.
We're assuming they're so bad.
We're not assuming. We're not assuming.
Then maybe we should try to make less food deserts.
The desert doesn't matter if when you get to the grocery store, you're still buying the same bullshit.
That's all that is there in places that are impoverished.
That's not all that's there. That's not all that's there.
You're in Chicago. You're not in anywhere else outside of Chicago. Most of the United States is not Chicago.
Chicago has food deserts.
Yeah, but you
of
still
them.
have transit to get to places where you can find food.
So now we're assuming that everybody has transportation to get to
I'm not assuming.
wherever
I'm saying
the
that we cannot put the
grocery
blame
store
on the
is.
people who are impoverished. That there's a lot of other nuances to the reason that they're making the food choices they're making.
Okay.
Including addiction to sugar. So what, we're just going to take it away and we're just going to avoid the reality that people are going to be going through withdrawal from these foods as well?
Okay, yeah. And that is a process. If we're talking about the body's ability to deal with withdrawal from sugar is way better than withdrawal from heroin or withdrawal from caffeine or like withdrawal from other things.
Maybe heroin. You got me on withdrawal from heroin, but not the other things.
Okay. Listen, I've worked at Aldi.
How did we get to you worked at Aldi?
I'm about to tell you.
Okay,
I've worked at Aldi.
Go ahead.
I've seen generations of fat families come in
I'm not going to talk badly about fat people.
with 2 carts filled with bullshit.
So here's the thing.
No, I'm not done.
Okay, sorry.
It's big grandma, the big mom, and then the little big baby walking around grabbing stuff, throwing it in the cart. They have 2 carts worth of food. No vegetables. Not even fresh, not even frozen ones, just no vegetables. Multiple kinds of pizzas. multiple kinds of cookies, 2 carts worth. And then when they leave and I peek at the receipt to see how much money they have left on their WIC card or their Link card, thousands of dollars.
I'm so happy that they have thousands of dollars.
I'm happy too. I think they should be educated on how to spend it more consciously.
There's a lot of things that we're missing out on in this conversation.
Okay, go ahead and like weasel it away from what I'm saying right now. You think it's okay?
No.
Oh, no. Let me.
2 things can be true at once.
Hold on.
Okay.
You think it's okay for generations of people to be able to put themselves in a health deficit with money that is given to them from the government?
Okay.
I'm asking you, can you answer that question? You think it's okay to have like government funded diabetes or government funded health issues that can be directly attributed to your diet?
Do I think it's okay?
Yeah.
I don't think that's the question.
It's the question I just asked you. Can you answer my question?
So do I think it's okay? I think it's unfortunate. Do I think it's a reality for many?
No. That's a yes or no.
Do I think it's okay?
Do you think
it's
okay?
Question. No, I don't want anybody to be ill.
Okay.
I don't want anybody to be sick. In that context, no. But the way you're asking it is contrived.
Okay.
Because here's the thing. That grandmother, mother, that multi-generation obesity, we see, so that's them eating, right? They're eating.
Eating, lack of activity, sure.
All of that. And so they're clearly trying to get away from something, and that's their coping skill.
Okay.
And so we see that with alcoholism. We see that with, let's even think about billionaires.
That's even better. I love that you brought alcohol into it. Keep going.
Billionaires, right? Like billionaires and the way that they hoard money.
Okay.
Workaholism, perfectionism. There's all different types of ways, negative or positives, that we engage in these coping skills, and it's just how society views it.
Okay.
Now, that person who has a multi-generational obesity, probably health issues as well. There's probably all kinds of things. If they're on all of this assistance, then there's poverty. That's probably been multi-generational. And there's trauma that comes with all of that, being a part of these systems.
Okay.
So you're just going to take away this one thing from them and say like, okay, we're doing good for you. When it's really like, you have all of these other nuances a part of their life that are like on fire. And so you're just saying, this is the fire I want to focus on. What makes us think that we have that right to enforce that upon people?
Because you asked for it.
Because they're impoverished.
No,
they need to eat.
Listen, you don't have to apply for those services.
You don't have to, but people should have access to food.
Okay, and if the food that we're giving you happens to be healthy food, that's a bad thing?
I'm not saying it's bad. I'm saying it's bad that we target only people who are impoverished.
I don't think we're targeting. I don't think it's targeting. Those are the only people who apply for that.
I'm telling you it's targeted because I can go in and I can buy whatever I want with my cash.
That's your cash.
Right.
That's great.
That means that because I am in a higher economic status, that I get to do that. And
that happens all the time. There's
wrong.
people in a higher economic status that have multiple bedrooms or have fancier cars.
And I think gluttony is wrong when people go without.
Okay.
We can just agree to disagree.
Absolutely we can. I'm
not going to say that people in poverty can't eat things, Jared.
I'm not saying they can't eat things
either.
That
people in poverty
I'm saying I don't know. I'm saying
no.
I didn't say that. I said I don't know
if someone who has.
Hold on, let me clarify.
Okay, go ahead.
I said I don't think, or I don't know if they should be able to use their government-assisted funds to buy certain things.
Do you think they should be able to buy lobster?
Sure.
What makes that indulgence different?
I don't look at that as an indulgence necessarily. I look at that as seafood.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
There are people who would argue that that would be a luxury.
Sure. I get that.
And so it's like, where do you draw the line when you start to make rules for just one group? And I think
you draw that. No. It's easy where you draw the line. You draw the line at health benefit and significance.
Right, but you can argue.
And hey, let me add this too.
So many.
Let me add this too. It doesn't have to be the whole money. It can be a percentage of it.
What do you mean by that?
Like if you get whatever the amount of money you get, you should only be able to buy like whatever you want with like 30% of it. Maybe there's a birthday party.
Regulating things like that.
Okay, then don't get the assistance then. Don't get it.
Well, I don't get anything, unfortunately.
No, I'm not saying you, but I'm saying like
I think everyone should get food assistance.
Sure. Hey, listen.
I think that should be a part of your membership to the United States.
Do you
remember when that was a discussion?
That's fine.
That there was a membership to the United States?
That's fine.
I think a part of the membership should be a food stipend.
Okay.
And we can all buy whatever we want, and that should solve it.
All right. Okay. I disagree. I think if that's the case,
you don't think we should get food stipends?
I think so. I don't think you should. I don't know if you should be able to get whatever you want.
Okay, I would like a fresh fruit stipend.
Sure.
And then I would be.
Why do you want a fresh fruit stipend?
Just because I want fresh food.
Why do you want fresh food?
Because if that's what the government's gonna die on, I'll just take whatever they give me.
No, you can buy whatever you want. Why do you know that fresh food is important?
Of course, fresh food is important.
But
I'm not saying that what you're saying is wrong, that they should not have access to fresh food. Everyone should have access to it. I'm saying that in this country, we've come very close to drawing lines to the groups that it is okay to do these things to.
Improve their health is a thing that we're trying to do.
And improve everyone's health and say it's it's a whole issue of our country.
But everyone isn't receiving aid from the government.
And we all should. So if you're going to die on the fact.
All right. I'm talking about what's really happening, and then you keep introducing all these like hypotheticals like, well, we all should, but we all don't.
I'm saying what is right.
Okay.
But here's the thing. Do you really think he's so invested in these groups' health? Do you really think that that's why he's doing it?
I don't give a fuck.
The path to hell was paved with good intentions. The path to hell was paved with good intentions.
If that's the way you interpret that, that's fine. Maybe you're not like close enough to the problem to like internalize it.
I work in nursing homes.
That's great.
I am like in the problem. Most people's chronic illnesses are due to poor eating. And
you think that if they were on government assistance, which in most cases directly correlates to a certain education level, a certain access to information, you think that they should just be able to eat themselves away with whatever they want because they're broken in all these other ways, when you even as a mental health professional have admitted that health, diet, all these things can contribute to a better mental state.
But I don't think a person can focus on their diet and establishing healthy habits in that manner without having first healthy housing, water, having consistent shelter that they don't have to worry about is super important.
Okay.
And so when we look at a lot of the people
you living in Section 8. You living in Section 8. Like, these people aren't homeless.
Section 8 is terrible.
All right. Some Section 8 is terrible. Not all Section 8 is terrible.
A lot of housing is really bad, and there's not enough of it. Okay. And it's not that there's not enough housing structures in the United States. It's that we are not housing people who need homes.
Okay.
Including the most mentally ill people in the world.
Okay.
Are not housed.
We should move on.
Okay, what do you want to talk about?
Whatever. Let's look at the list.
Is it ever okay to change your partner's wardrobe?
I think it depends on.
This is especially a good question for you.
Why?
You just have so much to say about clothes.
Oh, I've dated some girls who couldn't dress.
What did you do?
I mean, I don't know. You can like make suggestions, or like you can like it's a real hard conversation unless you're willing to just like go and like buy them a wardrobe.
What if they dress really badly? Would you? And then they want to go out and you want to take them to nice places.
What do you consider really badly? Give me an example.
I don't know what would be really badly in the man to woman world.
I'm asking you. You put the question down.
Like,
if you
honestly, just not caring or not putting any effort.
What level of relationship is this first?
Any level of relationship.
No,
I'm just curious.
No, that's different because at a certain level, you don't have any room to say anything.
Let's say you're now traveling with a person.
So how long have you guys been together?
You've been together 5 months.
Okay.
5 months traveling, and they wear just really ugly pants. Like it doesn't suit their body.
What is an ugly pant?
I don't. It has the bedazzled pants.
A man with bedazzled pants.
Yes. Even a woman. Are bedazzled pants good for women?
So it depends, right? Because like that whole like 2000s Renaissance is going on.
I love it.
So like if a girl showed up, that's like the worst one. If a girl showed up with like a pair of like low rise baby fat jeans with like the like bedazzled cat on the pocket, it's a conversation. It's not bad though. Like that's what's up.
Okay.
We would need like a different. I don't know.
What about a man though? Can a man have like rhinestones on his jeans?
Listen, men do it. That's a little bit more of like a West Side thing. For me,
that is.
I don't really.
It's also
I don't really
very
do that.
Like cowboy.
But I mean, listen. I also like. I'm wearing like Timberlands with shorts. Like that's a decision.
You are wearing Timberlands.
A lot of people look at that different ways. So.
I feel like I've seen a lot of people do that though.
Maybe.
I really have. I don't know. Does it ever become like, when are you accepting that person for who they are completely?
I mean,
like, should you care about that?
I mean, you should care about it. You should care if it's bad. And let me preface bad. Bad is like messy, hygiene, or like fit. Like
they should be wearing a slim fit and they're wearing a boot cut?
No, like they're wearing a 40 and they should be wearing a 36.
Oh.
Not fit, like, no.
Got it.
No. Because at this point, you really have to.
Wearing slim fit?
No, because at this point, you really got to have a conversation about like, okay, are you dressing like this on purpose? Like if you're dating somebody and every time you all go out, they show up in a graphic tee. Like this person may have style or may have like ideas about fashion. Mm-hmm. They might just not be yours.
True.
So then it's more about being able to communicate when you may want something a little extra.
And what if someone has other attributes?
Like what?
I don't know. Maybe they're hilarious.
Okay.
And so you're like, I'll look over the fact that they dress like
that. That never works.
You don't think so?
I don't think you can ever. There's that one thing is always going to.
Have you ever had the conversation? I've never had the conversation. I mean, when I was married, it was different, but.
Had what conversation?
Like, I don't like the way you dress. I don't know if you would say it like that either.
Not, I don't like the way you dress. I have had. Hey, so. I think you're beautiful. I think you've got like a crazy body.
Oh, that's kind of sweet.
And I think that we should go out. And I would like to take you. Shut the fuck up. I would like to go out, and I would like to take you somewhere.
I should have had an aunt so long
I'd like to take you somewhere where you have on something, you know. A little, you know what I'm saying? A little spicy.
Will you show them pictures of the clothes that you want them to have?
That, not right away.
Will you?
Because that can be confused with, I want you to look like someone else.
True.
So give them that information first. Mm-hmm. See how they respond.
But I feel like you know a lot about fashion generally. So would
Sure.
you be the kind of guy who was like, I want you to wear this cut? I think that's nice.
If I knew that she would know what that meant, yeah, maybe.
Have you met girls
But
that don't know what cuts are? Because I think we can just Google that by now.
By now you can, yeah, but like there was a time when I was dating and girls couldn't Google stuff. It might have just been a couple years, like a year.
Some didn't have access to the internet.
But yeah, I would try that first. I don't know about showing. Women can be weird when you have like pictures of other girls and stuff, because then be like, oh, you've been thinking about this, or oh, you was doing this. You're like, slow down. Just say, hey, you know.
I think that's nice when men tell women what they like to see them in.
Sure.
But I don't know when it becomes not nice. Has it ever become not nice?
I've probably done it not nice before.
I'm sure.
What does that mean?
I'm so sorry it came out like that. I can just see it happening.
Oh my God.
I'm so sorry. I apologize.
Anyway.
I think that, do you like to buy women clothes? Will you buy women clothes?
Yes.
Oh, I love that, Jared.
But
again, why you
it depends. It depends. If we're like out,
yeah.
Definitely. And you like try something on,
that looks really good.
Sure, I've done that.
Oh, look at you.
But I don't know about. I'd have to like really know to buy something on my own.
I love buying gifts.
It's size stuff.
I am the kind of weird that'll have like all the sizes. I'll look.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Is that weird? No, that's not weird. That's caring.
Okay.
Conscientious.
I also don't want to make it seem like I'm buying stuff. I don't know. I'm weird about like buying stuff like for me.
What do you mean by that?
Like I'm buying you a dress that I want to see you in.
Oh. Okay.
As opposed to like buying something that you might
like.
That you might want.
Oh, very thoughtful. Need. That is so thoughtful, Jared. Now we're back on the topic of why you're not married.
That's not a topic, and you really need to stand. It's almost like disrespectful the way you keep bringing it up, because you don't know how I feel about not being married or how I feel about not having kids.
I just feel like you should. I would have loved to be an aunt. You'd be such a fun dad.
This is so. Did you see the video of Sierra? Do you know who Sierra is?
Yes, of course I know who Sierra is.
Do you know who Jim Jones is?
Yes, I know who Jim Jones is.
Do you know his not wife, Chrissy?
Yes, I love Chrissy.
Did you see Sierra run up on Jim Jones in front and like interrupt some interview he was in?
For what?
And start talking to him about why, like grilling him about why him and Chrissy aren't married?
Nope, I didn't see it. Can you tell me how it went?
So, I mean, Jim Jones was a real one. He kept it real. He just let her talk and just let her talk.
I could see
and let her be wrong.
I don't think there's anything
rude.
wrong with not getting married.
That's not what we're talking about. We're talking about Sierra ambushing Jim Jones to have that uncomfortable, questionable conversation.
Are you saying that's what's happening
publicly.
now? Am I Sierra?
A little bit.
Okay, I'll drop it. Even though I think that.
What if you asked me next time? I was like, Andrea, my balls don't work. I can't have kids.
I'd be like, thank you for being so vulnerable with me.
Bitch, you're crazy. You are a nutcase.
Why wouldn't I be so happy for you being vulnerable? It'd be like that. You've opened it up and you probably helped so many people.
Oh my God.
Even if you just touch one person with your ball story, it would be enough. You don't think so?
So many years of wasted pulling out.
Oh, so many. For you.
Could just been shooting up clubs.
So then I can't talk about my want to be an aunt to your children.
You are an aunt.
To your children.
I don't know if you could be around my kids.
Why?
I don't know, man.
I'm so
You be
fun.
teaching them all this like, hey guys, take the cookie and break it all in even pieces. So everyone gets the same size piece.
No, but sorry, I don't want people to starve. Are we going back to this topic?
I don't want people to starve either. I don't want people to buy 5 different kinds of pizzas though. I think that's an issue.
I probably have 3 different types of pizzas in my
You
freezer.
also have a garden.
I do have.
You also have a gym membership.
Multiple.
Okay. At any rate,
how's the gym going?
Great.
Are you gonna explain to me why your videos are the way they are? You said you would explain to me.
Oh yeah, that's easy. Lauryn Hill had a famous line. You know who Lauryn Hill is?
Of course I know who Lauryn Hill is.
I was just making sure.
Why would you even add? That is so disrespectful.
Lauryn Hill had a famous line. She said, "I add a motherfucker so the ignorant niggas hear me."
I understand.
Boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So it's Pride Month and it's Men's Health Awareness Month.
Crazy that those are in the same month, but
do you
go
think
ahead.
It's crazy?
I think it's interesting.
Do you think somebody who puts months together does ironic things?
Probably. I don't know who picks them. I don't know how they would be the same. I also don't know how I feel about Men's Mental Health Month being like basically being like marketed as like Men's Suicide Month.
Men are very successful when they try to commit suicide.
Not the point. The point is there's more to men's mental health than killing yourself.
I mean,
and I don't think we should.
Thing.
Yeah, but I don't think we should, in the month, I don't think we should celebrate it by like mostly just posting all the people who like either like, depending on how you look at it, like succumb to their mental health battles or took such a eventual and permanent solution.
Agreed. And there's value in saying that men use lethal ways in trying to commit suicide. And that's why they're so successful.
Okay. I want Men's Mental Health Month to get away from the suicide
thing. We need to make them 2 separate months.
I don't think you need a month for people who've killed them. No.
People need to know that.
If you want to have Suicide Month, go for it. Or Unalived Month.
Suicide Month sounds terrible.
But Men's Suicide Month is okay.
Men have such an issue.
Get the fuck, yo! You are not an ally. You are not an ally. You're so weird.
It's factual. I love facts.
That doesn't mean that they need a month. I think it should be brought up. It should be a part of it, but I don't think
all the time, right?
You're like trying to celebrate it.
They need it all the time.
Let's celebrate how successful
but it's definitely
men
a
are
warning.
at killing themselves.
Like we need.
It's not a warning. It's done.
I don't know.
An attempt is a warning. People don't understand how. Going to therapy is a warning.
No, like people don't understand how mental health works, generally speaking.
I agree.
And
I agree. And it scares me that you're a professional.
No. Listen, okay, so people are always going to have hard feelings, and they're always going to have difficult things that they have to go through. Mm-hmm. But our access to weapons have increased. And so now when we have these hard feelings, it's very easy to have access to lethal weapons now.
Okay.
And men use lethal weapons.
Okay.
So it's serious.
I agree.
Thank you. I appreciate you agreeing with this one.
to agree
2
that
separate months.
To agree that men. All right. I don't.
There's not enough months for all the things we
for the
need to
record,
celebrate.
I don't believe that there needs to be a Men's Unalive Themselves month.
You can find a day for anything.
I don't think we should be bringing attention to the idea or like glorifying the idea of killing yourself. I feel like that's something that people would like to add to.
You think it's glorified?
Yes, I think
that's the same. That's the same argument that people who say that abstinence is like we shouldn't pay attention to sex.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
You just don't like that it is.
Okay.
It's the same. It's the same line of thinking and argument.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Because when you say, like, if you pay attention to the topic, then you're bringing, like, glorifying or whatever.
I'm not saying you. I'm saying they're only paying attention to the topic.
That's the same reason they say that you shouldn't hand out condoms.
No, it's not.
Yes,
And
because they're saying if you hand out condoms, you're going to glorify people having sex, when it's really developmentally, people are going to have.
No,
People are gonna have sex.
really, what you're looking for is if we were just running around showing pictures of pregnant women. And it's like, well, every time you have sex doesn't mean you'll get pregnant.
No.
Just like every time you have a mental health problem doesn't mean you have to kill yourself. And I don't think in Mental Health Month
but there is among people who attempt suicide, men, when they are attempting, use more lethal weapons, causing to higher rates of suicide among men.
I understand that men have high rates of suicide.
Right.
I don't think that should be the only thing you get from.
Correct. So they should be separate times that we need to talk about them, or we should just bring more awareness and access to the topics.
Okay.
Are you frustrated?
You're really interesting to have a conversation with.
Why? Why are you frustrated?
Again, it's just interesting to have a conversation with you.
But it's important to talk about that topic. So when should we talk about it?
You should talk about it during Men's Mental Health Month. But I don't think you understand that when people post Happy Men's Mental Health Happy Men's Mental Health Month, all they post are people who have killed themselves. They don't post
hard breakup lately? Go to therapy.
Okay. Or
I just gave a softball topic.
Or Robert Downey Jr., who went to jail, had overcame addiction issues, and now is a success story.
I see what you're saying.
Or people who have publicly gone through stuff and then came out of it. They only show people who have, not my words or not my sentiments, but people who have. It can be said that they may have succumbed or may have lost their battle with mental health. And I don't think that should be what we focus on in Men's Mental Health Month.
We should have more positive stories?
Yes. I don't know how you do that, but when I see the posts for Happy Men's Mental Health Month and it's just a bunch of people who committed suicide, I don't walk away from that like, oh, Men's Mental Health Month.
It's intense. Men don't normally come to therapy independently.
Possibly.
So that's a whole nother issue.
Take your friend to therapy month. Okay, sure. Maybe there should be
your male friend to therapy month.
I don't think it needs to be that because why does it need to be separate?
We were talking about men's stuff, men's mental health.
Okay, if you want to be take your male friend to therapy month, that's fine. I don't think it needs to be a male taking their male friend. I think females could take their male friends too. I think maybe men would be more acceptive, or it would be better if men had group therapy.
I think group therapy is good for men.
I think maybe it could be looked at as more of like a team thing.
And men do need individual as well, I think, at some point.
I think therapists should be personal trainers.
That'd be so much fun and helpful.
Yeah.
There are programs
I have
like
good
that.
ideas if you let me talk. Which I didn't think would be the problem with this. I definitely thought I would be talking too much. But man, well, you get the no, I know what you're saying, but what it is it's like, oh, okay. No, you're
talking
wrong.
about
But the
mental
statistics.
health. You don't like mental
What?
health. You don't like me talking about mental health.
No, I don't care about you talking about mental health. You can talk about mental health all you want. That's fine.
So,
Your pants are unbuttoned, I think.
are they?
It's okay, I can edit this part out. Choop, choop.
Or you should show people how focused on attire you are.
Okay.
You are focused on attire a lot.
All right.
Do you make clothes?
You could say that, sure.
Do you? For real?
What do you mean?
Like have you ever made a shirt?
No.
Do you tailor clothes?
I could probably do some stuff.
Could you put together like a patchwork jacket?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did your mom sew?
No. Not really. She was crafty, but she never sewed. My aunt, or my second cousin in Tennessee, she sews.
And can she like construct a shirt?
Yeah, she can follow a pattern.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, I could probably follow a shirt pattern.
I think you could too. I have faith in you. Why?
Thanks.
You're welcome, Jared.
What?
I think that there does have to be a lot of emphasis because people don't realize how many, when it comes to suicide among men, it's like a huge issue.
Yeah, sure.
And men use really lethal weapons in comparison to women. They use guns a lot of times.
Stronger.
I don't think there's anything stronger than guns. What would?
No, I'm saying we're stronger so we can handle a gun to shoot ourselves.
Men, I mean, other weapons as well. Men are just more likely to be successful.
What other weapon would you use to kill yourself?
Knives.
Men stab themselves?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Samurais? Are you talking about like ancient Japan?
Like, no, like regular knives. Knives.
Men slit their own throats?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's like very lethal, very brutal ways.
Okay.
So it's very important.
All right. Never heard of anybody stabbing themselves, but I'm sure it's possible.
I don't know. We're in two different fields.
Facts.
We're in two different fields.
That's true.
And it's true. People, if they want to go, they'll figure out a way to go, and men just use lethal weapons and lethal means.
Okay.
And they're more successful in their attempts.
Okay.
Can you imagine?
No.
Terrible. We should pick a lighter topic, though.
It's physically very hard to stab yourself, like psychologically and physically.
That just shows you the turmoil that people are in, especially men.
Okay. I would love to see the statistics on men stabbing themselves.
Should we Google these statistics?
You can. I don't know.
No, we shouldn't.
You
Google.
did slit your wrist like this, which is definitely not how you do it. But
I mean,
you're a professional.
I've never slit my own wrist.
I hear you, but you're privy to so much information and data.
People do it incorrectly. People do all kinds of things when they're desperate.
Another reason why. Never mind. You're right.
It's really sad. Why they shouldn't put emphasis on it?
Well, men are more successful.
Men
Follow
are more
instructions.
successful.
Do it right. This way, not
We
that
follow
way. That's not-
instructions? That's
This
so
way,
terrible.
this way is just to like cry and end up in the hospital. I don't want to do it.
You think so?
Yeah, man. A lot of that should be like cries for help too.
I don't know. But I know that people are in really bad places sometimes.
Yeah. I think that's more so
Who's
the
stopping-
success rate.
Aren't they stopping the suicide support lines, I heard? That's like up next for cutting.
Maybe.
That's sad.
Yeah. But
All
that's
that
the success rate thing. The success rate is that men, I think more often, really want to do it. I think if you could talk to people like 2 minutes after the suicide,
No, I think just men
there'd be a
use
lot of
more
women
lethal
like,
weapons.
wait, that worked?
I think men just have testosterone and they're just more prone to using a lethal weapon.
Okay. If you want to blame it on the testosterone thing,
Blame it on
now you're just like
testosterone.
totally shitting on the possible mental health thing. Now you're just like, well, it's testosterone, they're animals. I just want to do it the roughest way.
No, what I'm saying is
Clean it up, Doc.
I think that both male and female are in real pain.
Okay.
It's just that one is more prone to using a lethal weapon.
Isn't the point lethal? Shouldn't both of them be using lethal means?
Yes, so what's the
Take
difference?
weapon off of it,
So
because
what's
a
the
weapon
difference
could be
between
a-
a man and a woman at that point then? Scientifically, men have testosterone.
Finality and like the actual.
No, we're gonna look at the.
Okay.
You think that? No,
Go
I
ahead.
think they're both in equal pain. So they both
Pain.
want finality.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think they're both in pain. One person wants the conversation brought out of them, and one person just wants to die.
No.
Okay.
I would humbly disagree.
That's fine.
I think that both parties can be in equal pain. Men have pain and women have pain, and I think there's a lot less differences.
I'm telling you, I've dated a bunch of girls, and more of them have told me that they're gonna kill themselves than I have ever said.
Oh, that's a whole nother can of worms that we have to crack open then.
Okay.
That's your pattern?
No, it's not my pattern. I'm telling you what girls have said.
Pattern. It sounds like that. That's
All
part
right.
of your pattern there.
Okay.
Vanessa Bryant.
What about her?
Did you hear that there was a rumor that she was going to get remarried and then or she was dating and people were upset about that?
I'm surprised she's surprised about that.
How? How many years has it been since he passed away?
4 or 5, but that doesn't matter. You either do it and ignore what people say, or like do it on the low, which as a multiple 100 millionaire, you definitely could do.
But no one should have to live their life like that, and women have the right to move on.
Okay, then move on and deal with people talking about it.
It's just that simple.
Yeah.
I think people have a problem with women who are widowed moving on.
Sure, especially when they're connected to arguably one of the most revered basketball players in history.
Unfair.
Oh my God, welcome to life. That question, that comment surprised me.
Why?
That's unfair. You're right, it's unfair. I don't know what you want me to do about that. It's also unfair that she has hundreds of millions of dollars from a sport that she had nothing to do with.
That's not unfair. She had to deal with a lot.
It's so funny how fickle your morals are.
What?
Yeah, man, they change so drastically depending on the situation.
But it's not unfair.
You say what?
I don't think that they were together since they were babies.
They were together since she was 17.
How old was he? 17?
No, he's a little older than her.
How much older?
I don't know. My phone is recording. How about you Google it?
I think that she has the right to date, and people should be happy that she's dating. Imagine how lonely she feels. She lost her daughter too. It's so terrible.
Can you pass me the tequila?
There you go. Did you watch BET Awards?
No, I watched some of the clips, but...
Did you watch any of the performances?
Some of the clips.
Which performances? Did you see B2K?
No.
You did not. Were you a B2K fan? Could you be a B2K fan? Yes.
It was okay. I like that song, Gots to Be. Do you know that one?
Yes, I know a lot of them, but I want to talk more about the fact that the one guy dated the other guy's baby mama. Is that allowed in man groups?
In a man group that I would be a part of, probably not. Not without like lots of like conversation and playful ridicule. But when there are hundreds of thousands of dollars on the line,
You could put a lot of
I'm sure
cameo.
concessions can be made.
Did you watch Love and Hip Hop Hollywood?
I've never seriously watched any of the Love and Hip Hops except...
What does seriously mean?
Except Love and Hip Hop New York.
Love and Hip Hop New York.
With Joe Budden.
That was a good one. So, B2K, Little Fizz was on Love and Hip Hop. I think Los Angeles.
Yeah, Juice and April. April fine too, boy.
You think so?
She's like a different kind of fine.
Can you pass me?
Like the fact that she's intertwined with those two dudes is like...
Well, now she's with... Is she still with that actor?
Taye Diggs? I don't think they're together anymore.
And she dated Ice Cube.
Ice Cube? Mm-hmm. Are you sure?
I am almost absolutely sure.
When? Because Ice Cube's been married for like 25 years.
Hasn't he been in a divorce?
No.
Am I thinking the wrong guy?
You're thinking Dr. Dre.
She wasn't dating Dr. Dre.
Okay.
Was she dating Dr. Dre?
Listen, we have supercomputers that we can double check this information
Hold on. Give me a second.
Mine is currently capturing all of
You're
this
probably
magic.
right. You're probably right.
I might not be, you know, I'm a man.
I'm not even commenting.
So you might want to double check my madness.
Okay. April what? Do you remember her last name? I'll
No.
check. I'll find out everything with my supercomputer.
There you go.
April, Love, and Hip Hop.
April Omarion's girl.
Yes. She had a whole, like, natural birth.
I had like a muddler. What does that mean?
She had, like, a birth in, like, one of those bathtubs.
Okay.
On Love and Hip Hop.
Oh, that's
They had, like, a very, like, wholesome...
Wholesome? Holistic?
Maybe not holistic. There you go. Maybe not wholesome. I don't know. I'm not in their love life. Who is April? Wait. Not that.
Oh, I want more stuff around my thing.
Around what thing? The rim?
Just like, go just do that. Ooh. Magic.
It's not showing.
Jesus. Did April from Love and Hip Hop date Dr. Dre?
Oh my goodness. Jeez.
Answer is yes, Jared was right.
Hip hop date.
Okay, I'm gonna push pause just so we can break this up. Is it Stacy? Is it Kelsey? Let me look at this.
I don't like those other topics.
Something I want to talk about.
Yeah, why don't you pick something you want to talk about?
Is co-parenting the new power couple?
That's what ChatGPT
No.
made.
Fuck.
But honestly, they made some really interesting references.
Did they? The first one is Sierra, Future, and Russell Wilson. We have no idea how active or not active Future is in Russell Wilson, in Little Future's life.
I think she's inferred.
Alicia
Sierra.
Keys and Swizz Beatz, listen, when you make as much money as Alicia Keys and
can
Swizz
just have
Beatz,
any life that
you
they
do,
want.
Mashonda does what the fuck they say.
You think so?
Yeah.
I would do what they say too.
Yeah. Hey, we going
We're gonna
on
have
we going on
Thanksgiving here.
vacation.
Let's do it.
We going on the boat. Pack your bag. Okay.
I would love that.
The real question is, do we wonder why she hasn't brought a nigga yet? Do you think there's a rule where she can't bring a man if she had a man? Or does she come on there and play unicorn for the week?
I don't know.
Okay.
I think maybe she just hasn't met anybody.
Okay.
Like Mashonda, at that level of wealth, you don't need to meet anybody. You just be happy on the boat.
At what level of wealth are you happy?
Alone.
Yeah.
Some people are
Not
happy
only alone.
Maybe wealth doesn't
Hold on,
matter.
hold on.
Some people are just
Hold on,
fine
hold on.
alone. Maybe
Not
Mashonda's
on-
just happy alone.
Not only alone, but seeing your ex with his new situation and their whole family.
His whole situationship. Maybe,
Yeah.
But they're past that already. Don't you think so? You get past it. Like right now, with first ex-husband,
If you do get
I'd
past
be
it
okay with being on a boat with them.
by yourself,
With just them, yeah. Hell
every
yeah.
year,
If they're paying, I'm in.
and you would never want to bring your boyfriend with you, or
I don't need it if I'm
Okay.
chilling in the Bahamas.
okay.
And I think he would understand if I had a boyfriend.
If he could afford to take you on a trip to the Bahamas, you think he would understand?
More trips to the Bahamas for me. At this point, I'm not working. I have all kinds of time.
Okay.
Right? I'm not working.
I guess. I don't know if Mashonda is
One
working or
trip
not.
to the Bahamas, 2 trips to the Bahamas, 3 trips. I'm down with all the trips to the Bahamas.
Okay. If I was Mashonda's man,
Yeah.
and I could have, like, we had, like, very few people are, I guess, whatever you consider, like, Swiss beats rich. But if I was her man and I was, like, supplying, like, a lifestyle, it would be a certain point where that shit would be done. Especially if it's like your man can't come. Like,
is she
if this
rich
is,
in her own right, Mashonda?
I don't think so. She was an artist for Swiss for a minute. Like, I don't.
Like, I wonder how much she got in the divorce. And she probably reinvested that.
I don't. You'd have to check if they were married.
They were married.
I think they were married. I think that's why they were giving Alicia Keys so much shit.
Yeah, I think that's why there was the whole issue.
I don't know. Yeah, nah, you can't go. What you going for? You just want to walk around and watch them? I'm confused.
But it's like, who cares if they're there?
What do you? This ain't like they all going on Carnival cruise. They on a yacht and it's just them.
It says millions. Like, if this is what this says, it's probably more than that. 5 million is her net worth, supposedly. But I'm pretty sure it's probably more than that. But you can go to the Bahamas, basically. If you have 5 million, you have enough to go to the Bahamas whenever you want.
Yeah. And if this ain't if this is a family trip, then why can't you bring, like, your new family?
Maybe she hasn't met anybody. Maybe she's the kind of woman who's just okay with being alone. Someone
Maybe
who just
she
wants to be
hasn't.
alone.
Maybe she hasn't.
Some men just want to be alone. There's plenty of men who just grow old and alone.
Not true. Not true. Men do not want to be alone. They may not want to. Where are you even getting men want to? What
I said
men?
some. There's people who are just fine with being themselves.
Okay, so when you say some, like, how small of a percentage does it have to be ridiculous that we're including them?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know, but I think there's also different types of relationships.
You believe Tracy Ellis Ross doesn't want a man?
Oh, I think you want to be Tracy Ellis Ross's man.
Why? No.
Yes.
No.
You definitely have always wanted to be her man.
Tracy Ellis Ross, she's not even my favorite girlfriend.
I mean, she was one of your. Where did you put the squirt?
Oh, it's in the refrigerator.
She was one of your favorite women.
It's in the refrigerator.
Whoa, buddy.
Tracy Ellis Ross. Tracy Ellis Ross didn't even get hot until, like, the last 5 years to me.
You loved her.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you have.
No. I was a fan of Tony.
Oh, yeah, you did. Like, you love that whole series.
Not true.
I
Look,
feel like
hey,
you did.
listen. The parts of our relationship that are authentic, they can be authentic. You don't have to make up this history of you
No, I feel like
knowing me,
you've always referenced girlfriends.
If so, it was about Tony. Which I wish I could remember her real name right now.
Sorry, I wasn't specific enough.
Tracy Ellis Ross. I don't like a bunch of them. I don't like Golden Brooks. The one that played, what's her name?
It was hilarious.
It was alright.
I love that show. But it was a girl show, probably. I mean, it was called Girlfriends.
I watched Girlfriends. It was produced by Kelsey Grammer.
I did not know that.
We're learning today.
I really am. That's amazing. You have liked Tracy Ellis Ross, though.
No.
And I do believe when she says that she does not want a man.
Okay.
But men think that women are difficult. Men can be difficult as well.
Okay. I bet.
What would be your ideal relationship?
What does that mean?
Would your ideal, like, what would it look like? Would you guys get married?
Sure. I want to be a husband.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind being a husband.
You'd be a good husband.
You know, I got a lot of wisdom that I waste on other people's kids.
That's true.
That I would love to just have mine. I would love to have my kids around like a bunch of unruly motherfuckers and just give them that look and then just have them like, yeah, man.
That would be your ideal. Would you live in the city?
What's in the city?
Chicago.
If I could have a house and a yard.
I don't know how it is in here.
And a garage.
Ooh, that might be a lot to ask for in the city. No, some parts you can get that still, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Do you think that... I think relationships can look all kinds of ways and set up all kinds of ways. So I just want to preface this conversation with that.
They can, depending on who's involved.
Yes, I think relationships are just about compatibility. Like, you just have to go through them to find who's compatible with you.
Yes. There are levels of compatibility.
There's big compatibility, little compatibility.
And then there are areas of compatibility.
What?
Because just because you and someone can like talk and laugh all the time doesn't mean that you all can argue or work through adversity the same way.
True, conflict.
Doesn't mean you all express yourselves physically the same way.
True.
Yeah.
All those things can be true, yeah. But then there can be really hard parts of relationships. Like, if you get married, would you be able to stay with your partner past, like, maybe they couldn't speak? What if your partner just lost their voice?
So that's a really weird thing for me, because I was raised by my parents, and I was raised by a father who experienced varying levels of his disability. His disability changed over the years. So I have a real, like, this is my team, we deal with whatever we deal with kind of attitude towards things. Which is not always... That's not something that you can like write down on an application all the time and be like, yeah, I do that. I'm a, I guess like the lay term of it would be like ride or die.
Yes.
But there's a lot of people who like claim to be ride or die until it's time to ride or die.
Do you think that you can have a ride or die and not be with them in a relationship? Like, can your ride or die be someone like an ex or a friend or...
If you consider a marriage or like a love-based partnership the highest
echelon of relationship
level of that, then if you value ride or die-ness, you would probably want that person to be ride or die.
So you can have ride or dies in various aspects of your life. Do you value ride or die-ness?
Yeah, absolutely. That's all I know.
If I needed a kidney and you were my only match, would you give me a kidney? Can you give it? Yes.
I mean, I guess.
Wow.
Am I the first person 100%. You asked?
No.
Is there a line of people?
Would I give you a kidney? I think I might give you a kidney. And I have a lot of kids.
I don't know if I want a kidney from you. You start talking in circles like you and shit.
I don't talk in circles.
Well,
you're just mad that I don't.
I think mental health is important, but
why do you make me sound like the turtle from Finding Nemo?
Guys kill themselves so guys are so good at killing themselves.
I think you're doing that.
They need a month for that. What? Yeah. They need like a men unalive month themselves.
It's an issue, man. It's
men
an issue.
Unalive themselves month.
I
like that. What are the letters of that? MU. Men unalive. Is unalive you or just UA? Unalive is one word.
Definitely just one
men
word.
Unalive them. MUTS. Mutts. We should have Mutts Month.
I came up with that a long time ago in my head.
You're
Thank you.
ridiculous. That's
Thank
gross.
you.
It's gross. If that's the case, we should have Women Get Abortions Month.
Women should have access to abortions.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's celebrate it.
Yeah.
Facts.
I mean, we should.
Do you think when women get an abortion and then get pregnant again, do you think that's the same baby or you think that's a new baby?
I don't know, but I think about that. I think it might be the same soul.
Okay. It's crazy.
Did you just call me crazy? I
said that's crazy.
Why is that crazy?
Not your thought, just like the idea. Interesting.
Like, I think the amount of kids that you're supposed to have on Earth, you're allotted to, like, you get them.
You mean like the eggs that you're born with?
I don't know, like the ones that you're supposed to get. I don't know how that works because I'm not Jesus.
Do you have thoughts on Jesus?
I think it's really, I think all religious texts are interesting. I read a lot of religious texts all day, every day.
Do you? Why?
Because I work in a nursing home. And people who are...
Please explain the correlation, because that doesn't just...
Well, first of all, it's a very, very, very sick people end up in nursing facilities. And people who do not have anybody else who can care for them.
Okay.
So very lonely people, typically.
Okay.
And so people who are looking at hopelessness. And so they turn to a lot of religious texts.
Got it. Okay.
So I read a lot of varying degrees of religious texts. Some that are interpreting the Bible in different religious texts. Bible and Quran are the typical ones I see. And then the actual religious text.
Okay.
So both.
So you see a lot of like leaflets and like little like
there's
like little mini books and stuff.
That,
and then you see like
but
a lot
actual
of
Bibles, but actual like text. Like I'm reading one right now that just literally goes through all of the ways of the Bible, and it talks about how different words in the Bible are not direct translations because they're translations of translations.
Okay.
And so it talks about how people read things literally in the Bible, but maybe they mean something else.
Okay.
So I read that to a lot of people who are very mentally ill, and it helps them through very difficult parts of their day.
Okay.
So sometimes we read out loud.
Nice.
So I think Jesus was a beacon of hope in a very difficult time. I think there's actual historical references to the Bible.
Sure. Jesus is a pretty consistent figure throughout history.
Yes.
Like Jesus, the things they know is that Jesus lived.
Yes.
And that the Romans killed the shit out of him.
I think there's a lot of spiritual parts of the world that we deny because we don't understand it.
Okay.
And seeing a lot of death at this stage of my life and kind of looking at it has made me really understand a lot of those.
How much death have you seen?
A lot of death. People just die all the time.
You mean like at work?
Yeah, at work. Yeah,
Oh,
for
okay,
sure.
okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
Like, so you're sitting and talking to someone very intimately, and then the next day you go in and they're suddenly not there. And there's the reverse side of that. People know they're dying, and they tell you beforehand, and they know where they're battling with that. So I've seen different ways and interacted with death very intimately.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. You hold hands with people while they're walking through it. I think people think that death is something that is just this one final moment, but sometimes it happens over the course of months.
Okay. I have a friend who I think has seen a lot of death.
What do they do?
Like, what does he do?
Is that why he's seen a lot of death, or he's just encountered it in his life?
No, he's just like encountered it in his life.
Okay.
Like, his younger brother died, or was shot. I'd have to ask him directly, but like, he's often posting like rest in peace posts on his page and like people like, and then like pictures of like him and these people. I know he had like a really close friend that I think I don't think he like legally adopted his kids, but he might be like the guy-dad to his son or something like that. Up. This motherfucker's seen a lot of, he's seen a lot of people killed. And I'd be really interested to know like what his therapy situation is, or like how he
talking about it. I have a therapist.
Taps into that.
You should call him.
Huh?
You should call him.
Him who?
Her.
Your therapist?
No, whoever your friend is.
Oh, for you? To talk to you?
No, to talk to them and check in on them. Jeez.
Oh no,
Have you seen that trend where people are telling people good night?
Yeah.
If I called you and said good night, what would you say?
I say good night, nigga. What the fuck are you on? I say good night.
Yeah, you would say, why are you calling me?
Yeah, but it wouldn't be like so weird. I'd be like, all right, good night.
No, you'd still be nice about it.
Yeah.
But you'd definitely be perturbed.
I don't know about perturbed. I'd be weirded out.
You would be weirded out. You'd be like, why the hell are you calling me?
Yeah.
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 I wonder, I think I want to call my ex-husbands and ask them and tell them good night.
Oh, that's right. You do have 2 ex-husbands.
Yeah.
Crazy. You might be the problem.
I can't believe you said that. Terrible. You're supposed to be my friend.
I am your friend. What is a friend if the friend can't tell you might be the problem? I'm not saying you are.
I got married really young the first time.
I tried to have a conversation with you today. Talk about the success rate. Hey, I'd be successful killing myself right now.
We've had very successful conversation.
Who?
You and I have very good conversations. On
camera right now?
Yeah.
Some of them, yeah.
No, they're all really good conversations.
But when you put your hand up and be like, and start talking over me, I just be like, all right, because
you need to experience that.
Because once we post this, they're not gonna be like, oh, she's talking all over him. They're gonna be like, he's talking over her. So I'm just like letting it happen, just letting you do your thing.
That's first of all, I didn't talk all over you.
All right, we'll see the video. We'll see. It's not like I can like cut it. I can't edit it to make it seem like
I just don't agree with you.
That's fine. I don't agree with you on stuff either.
That's it. But that discourse for you feels like circles, but it's just because we're not landing on your point.
I don't think so. I think it's because I'm fully letting you say what you want to say. And then when I start saying stuff, you start saying, oh, no, and then you start reiterating what you said. I can't wait to count how many times you said lethal weapons today.
You should do the count on them.
No, but men use lethal weapons. But they use lethal weapons when they do it. When they do it, they use lethal weapons.
We have a gun problem.
I think the issue more so is women not using lethal weapons to do it.
Do you think body count matters?
What do you mean?
Body count on women, men?
Not really, because you could be getting fucked like trash like your whole life, and then you meet somebody who knows what they're doing.
Or you could have been with one person and just had a lot of sex with them.
That's not a body count, though.
But what does it matter if it's different people?
Cause I mean, it might not. I don't know if it does. But having a lot of sex with one person, it just alludes to having a lot of the same sex.
So Brittany Renner went on Shannon Sharp and said she was with 35 people. How old is Brittany Renner?
I don't know. 35, not a crazy number.
And she's in the industry, so it's not a crazy number at all. But
in what industry? Shocked. What does that mean?
The media industry, Hollywood, sports industry. Okay. She's in some industry. She was just married.
To Kevin Gates?
Wasn't she?
For like 29 days or some shit?
I don't judge anybody's culture. There's all kinds of rules, she said.
Rules to what? Being a Muslim?
Yeah.
Yeah. Welcome to fucking not just playing games on the fucking internet with somebody's religion.
33. She's a baby. 33. No.
33. Okay. What age do you think people start having sex? Give me a general
15.
answer. 15. Okay, so she's 33. I usually don't do math in public, but what's 33 minus 15?
That's like an average of like 2 men a year.
That's not crazy.
No, it's not.
So then why are you over here like 36?
I just brought it up to hear your point of view.
Oh.
I just want to know your point of view, but you seem so liberal, so I don't think there should be an issue.
I mean, it's not
You're
about that,
an extreme leftist.
but...
You called me an extreme leftist.
Yeah, I didn't say I was an extreme leftist. I like guns.
You do like guns?
Yeah.
I don't like guns.
There's multiple guns in here right now.
I never knew.
Now you know.
I mean, I don't mind people who have, like, I don't mind. It's just not my thing.
Okay.
But with the way that life is going, I feel like I should have a gun.
You should, number one,
I have a FOID card.
you should have lived in a house with guns at this point.
I definitely have lived in a house with, I'm not going to tell you which house I've lived in with guns.
Okay. Number one. And then number two, once there was a shift in your relationship status,
I should have gunned up,
you
right?
probably should have had a gun then.
No, I'm going to start going to the range more.
Okay.
Practicing. I have a FOID card, so I could just buy one now, right?
A gun?
I could have always bought one.
You can go, yeah, I mean, Illinois has a little bit of a process. It's probably going to take you like a week. You can't go in and walk out with a gun, but
You put an application in?
you have to do an application, and then you have to, they have like a background check too. They got to make sure you don't have any like shit on your record. Okay.
Flying colors.
All right.
Yeah, I think now the way things are going, and I think I want to learn how to do archery
Okay.
because I want to kill rabbits. I'm not afraid to say it. For all those gardeners out there, rabbits eat all my stuff.
Go for it, man. Kill
People
your rabbits.
love rabbits.
I hear rabbits are like a more
Vicious? What are
So
they?
what do you think that is?
Talking over you.
Okay,
What are they?
all right.
What are they? Go ahead.
They're like more environmentally like safe and less wasteful than having chickens.
I also don't want chickens.
But I'm just saying, like, you could have rabbits for meat, and like they would produce way more than chickens.
And they'll also eat your garden.
I mean, you keep them in a cage and feed them.
They need to be in a cage because they're vicious.
Okay.
The way they decimate my garden,
Yeah.
it needs to be studied. I think it has been studied, Avi, by
I mean,
environmentalists.
you're growing their food outside.
So I just grow enough for all of us now.
You and the rabbits?
Yep, me, the rabbits, the birds.
That's what's up.
I have a bird feeder.
Nice.
I love my garden.
Sounds peaceful.
Is it peaceful? It's kind of like a lot to handle sometimes because of the birds. The birds are not vicious this year. And there's field mice.
Wow.
Yeah, I know. So much.
It's crazy.
Thanks. If I make elderberry syrup, will you drink it?
Yeah.
Speaking of men's health.
Sure.
Okay, thanks. Thank you for supporting me. Do you have anything you would like to talk about? Because we've been talking for a very long time.
We have. Are you over this now?
Nope.
Are you good?
I can keep talking.
We have an hour.
I can keep talking.
So we can be done if you want.
I can keep talking.
Do you want to pull a card?
Yes. He means so excited.
Wait. Okay. Go ahead. You do okay. Go ahead.
No, this is lame. Have you ever had to calm somebody down on an airplane?
No.
No, that's a lame card. New card.
I've had to calm down on an airplane. I don't like turbulence.
This is a good one, and
Okay.
I'm fully ready to talk about this.
Okay.
What are you afraid of at 3 a.m.?
The police.
Really?
Yeah.
There's something to be afraid of.
Yeah.
Are you out at 3 a.m. to be afraid of the police at 3 a.m.?
No, but that doesn't mean that police don't like kick in doors. Shout out to Breonna Taylor, or just like
Anybody. They're vicious.
yeah.
I was gonna say aliens, but now I don't.
What are you afraid of at 3 a.m.?
Aliens.
Or you know what? A call about my family.
No, I'm not afraid of that. I feel like I'm the last call for my family.
I'm not. I've gotten those calls before, so like just like my phone being my phone ringing in the middle of the night is just like unsettling.
We need to talk, Jared, off the camera.
Okay.
That got really deep.
Like loud noises. Like my dad was a gamer before like that was like a term.
Really? So he played like Nintendo, Duck Hunt, all that stuff.
Yeah, we had all that, and he would be like down in the basement playing video games, and then it'd be like the first floor, and then our rooms were upstairs. So like it would be some nights like 3 a.m. or 2 a.m. He'd be like probably coming off the game in the kitchen, maybe smoking a little pot because I think they had weed like hid around the house.
Yeah.
And he would like have a seizure, and then like he'd like drop his plate, and then it'd be like a big ass boom. And then it'd be like, once I got to a certain age, it would be like I'd either hear it and go down there, or like my mom would like hear it and like call me and like make me go down there. But like, yeah, so like just noise in the middle of the night is just weird.
I hear that. I'm sorry that's your experience with noise in the middle of the night.
It's not a big deal.
Okay.
I really don't even like the face you're making right now.
Okay, I'm sorry. Sorry for being kind to you.
You had to wake up in the middle of the night. I'm sorry.
Sorry for having feelings.
Oh my God.
How often do you let the little stuff get in the way of the big stuff? Not at all. I'm so serious. Little stuff happens
Probably
every day.
sometimes.
Every day little stuff happens.
Sometimes, but it helps if the quote unquote little stuff is at least acknowledged. We don't have to make a big deal out of it, but can we acknowledge it? It's easier to move on from things.
Like when I speak over you?
Kinda, but like you acknowledging that you do it and not stopping it is just gonna make for a bad podcast.
I'll stop eventually.
Maybe you will, maybe you won't.
No, I will. I'm a quick learner.
Maybe once the people start saying, damn, she just be disrespecting that black man, just talking all over him. Maybe once we start getting comments like that, maybe then you'll be like,
I would never disrespect you.
I don't want to be disrespectful to the ACLU.
We need to make that shirt that we're not with each other, though.
Why?
Because you remember when we went out that one time?
Uh-huh.
I think we should make shirts like that.
You think people think you're my type?
Definitely not. Definitely not. But I think it's just normal human behavior to think that when a male and a female go out, that something's there, and it's not always the truth.
Okay. I only buy that because when I go out with women, they are my responsibility.
That's what I mean.
And women can take that how they want. Women
No, I
not
like that.
not in the conversation can take that how they want. But like, you know, I'm gonna drive.
I like that. It's a healthy
I'm
male
gonna
response.
open doors.
Good job, Jared.
But like I do that with like my sister and my mom. Like I just do that
You're
with
just a
I
good
just
man
do that with girls.
who should. I can't even say it because it's
Yeah,
disrespectful.
you can't say it anymore.
So this is interesting. Who can drive you crazy in 5 minutes or less? I could say it's Hector.
Oh.
For sure, hands down.
Oh. There's people. I don't.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't need to say their names, but there are people.
Fine. Everybody does that. You want me to read it out loud?
I guess.
When you're alone, do you talk to yourself out loud?
Out loud sometimes.
Everybody does.
It's more like reacting to stuff like
Yeah.
fucking A. All right, give me this. I feel like your hands just pick bad cards. Hold on.
What the?
You just got girl hands.
I got a therapist game.
What?
I got a therapist game in my bag. It just came in from Amazon, so it's in my bag.
A therapist game? Mm-hmm. Oh, what kind of game?
It's it's a conversation cards for friends.
Put these in sideways. You're not even putting them in right.
You pick the ones.
For which act of forgiveness do you deserve a medal?
Oh man, that's a loaded question. Well, I was married for 15 years,
Yeah.
so that's enough said.
Okay.
You have to forgive a lot when you're married. What about you?
I'm trying to think.
Do you forgive people?
Yeah.
You do forgive people. A lot.
What makes you say that?
You've just had some challenging friendship dilemmas.
Like who? You can name one without having to go into the specifics if I even know what you're talking about.
You and Brian had fell out for a long time.
Yeah, but like me and Brian, that's because we're both like stubborn. I don't think it's
Are
because...
you both stubborn? I don't think either of you are stubborn. Are you both stubborn? That's how much I know you two. Then.
Yeah, I don't think... Me and Brian have never fallen out over anything that was like... That I would say like substantial.
Like falling out, forever falling out.
Yeah, like... I never like said nothing about his mom. He's never like fucked no girl I was interested. Like it's never been nothing like that.
So there's levels. So there's things that you would not forgive.
Yeah.
I would. What's things that? I don't know what I would not forgive. I guess murdering someone I probably wouldn't forgive that I loved. I don't know what else though.
Fucking a girl that you know is like with me.
I think I can forgive that.
That you know,
I
like
think I can forgive that.
You say what?
I think I can forgive that.
Maybe.
Like a woman messing with a man because it's like I'm not gonna lose a friendship for a man. People make mistakes.
Oof, it's hard to mistakenly pursue somebody else's woman.
No, I don't think it. Yeah,
and
you're right.
I just take that as like a personal affront. Like there's so many women on earth.
I'm thinking of other scenarios. You're right.
Yeah. Now there have been some situations where women have been seen with me, and the specifics of our relationship may not be clear, and then friends of mine have seen that woman and then approached her and whatever. That's not necessarily a I won't fuck with you ever again situation, but it's definitely a little slimy.
What if they're an ex?
Depends on the situation of the ex.
You had kids with the ex?
Yeah, that's pretty significant, yeah. But then also at that point, I also have to like think about like, did my ex knows we're close? Was that part of the thought process?
The scheme?
Is this like some kind of like weird like get back type? Yeah, or not even a plot. Like, it's one thing for a guy to pursue your woman. It's different for a guy to accept advances from a woman.
You think so?
Yeah, it's way different. Like,
I never understand when people are flirting with me.
Yeah, because I'd be like, bro, you don't know how out here your girl was. Like, I'm not hitting her phone. I'm not like chasing her down. Like, she was out and she saw me and she... Like, there are situations that So
does that make it okay for you to pursue?
It doesn't make it okay for it to not pursue, because you're not pursuing. You mean like, does it make it okay for you to accept it? It's more understandable.
That's some impressive tie-dye on a separate.
Oh, thanks. This is a reverse tie-dye.
It's very impressive.
This shirt was all black.
I love tie-dye.
Thanks.
So much. I can't wait to look through what you have.
Why don't you just like pick out some colors and buy a shirt?
I will. Okay. I told you the colors I wanted last. I don't even want to discuss this. I don't think you did,
but okay.
I definitely did. You showed me a picture of one that you made for some women, and I said, wow, that's beautiful.
What surprises you most about where you ended up in life?
Nothing surprises me, honestly. I think I knew I wanted a lot of children and I wanted a garden, and I think becoming a social worker surprised me. I thought I was going to be an attorney. So that was pretty surprising.
That's what's up.
Otherwise, I think that I worked really hard for the life that I have, and it's really what I wanted.
That's what's up.
Yeah. I love my life. I love my garden. I love my career. I love where it's going. I love all my friendships. I love where all my co-parenting relationships are heading. Ish. And I have a great group of friends. So, kind of happy with it.
Nice.
Which is kind of scary, but that's a whole other level.
I think in some ways, I am living my worst case scenario.
You think so?
I think so.
Tell me how.
Because the sentence, and this is gonna sound weird coming from me because like it I guess it's me saying it, but I totally agree. I think I could have been famous a long time ago.
You should have been famous a long time ago.
I think that if I had like either taken the Chicago theater scene more seriously when I was in college, or like left immediately and like just went to LA or something, I think the situation would have been like totally different.
I think so too, but I think it's never too late.
Sure, I don't think it's too late. No. But yeah, I think the way that I am like, because I do kind of like accessing different parts of my creativity. So like, just like I teach dance, and then like I
don't think that people know that about you.
Know what?
That how creative you are. No, I know people don't know that about you, because I think that the only reason I was able to get a glimpse of that is because of that class with Mr. Dixon.
Okay.
Getting to know you, because you took the time. I just don't think people know those parts of you. I don't know why either. You were always very inquisitive and kind to me, and I don't think people see those things.
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know why.
I don't know.
But you took the AirPod out of my ear and you said, "What are you listening to?" And that's how we started talking.
Maybe. Yep, and then I took that CD home, and I actually listened to that CD with my mom. My mom liked a lot of those songs in that CD too.
Because me and your mom are supposed to be friends.
Yeah, you guys are.
Why are you rolling your eyes
Scissor
at that?
Sisters.
No, we're supposed to be thrift store sisters. Oh my, OMG, that just went to all kinds of places. We're supposed to be thrift store sisters.
Yeah.
She's my friend on Facebook.
That's what's up.
Does she have other forms of social media?
She's on Instagram. She's got a couple Instagram pages.
What?
She's got one like that. I guess was like for her like t-shirt business at a certain.
She has a Cricut.
Yeah.
So do I. We're supposed to be friends. What purchase made you the happiest for the longest time? That's a good one.
What purchase made
Mine is
me?
gonna make me seem very much like a suburban woman.
I mean, mine would either be my laptop or my motorcycle.
Motorcycles.
Yeah.
What's with men and motorcycles?
It's not that many men that ride motorcycles, honestly.
But the ones who do are about it.
Yeah.
What is the feeling that you get on a motorcycle?
It's like a weird feeling of freedom.
Flying?
I don't know about flying, but it definitely, when you're in a car, you can kind of be separate from the amount of traveling you're doing. But on a motorcycle, like, you definitely like feel where you're going, or like where you've been, if that
like you're
makes any
connected
sense.
to the movement.
Yeah. I mean, but that speaks to more so of the fact that like the amount of attention that you have to pay.
The vulnerability that you are at.
That too. I mean, you also see people in their cars and all the other shit that they can do while driving that you can't do while riding a motorcycle. Like being in a motorcycle and pulling up and looking right into somebody's car and seeing that like they're on the phone, or like they're sending a text, or they're like putting on makeup. It's like, you could kill me right now. And like, what would you be doing? You'd be sending a text. You'd be like fixing your makeup.
The
You'd
level
like
of
eating a sandwich.
conscientiousness.
Yeah, for sure.
Interesting.
But also, it's like, I mean, when I was working at the motorcycle store, and I was like leaving there to like go out and do like shifts at the hospice center with my dad, there'd be no way that I could do that driving.
It's just a
because
quicker mode
the
of
traffic is
transportation.
just crazy.
That's really interesting.
Like the traffic at that time, like I'd be
It's
leaving.
more efficient to be on a motorcycle.
Absolutely.
I like that. I like that you look at it from a practical standpoint.
Yeah. Like
I'm
I don't know.
horrified of
I don't see how
motorcycles.
every superhero doesn't have a motorcycle. Because you just get
Batman
through
does.
shit.
Who else does? Is Batman a superhero? Yeah, right? Vigilante.
He's a hero,
He's a hero.
but he doesn't have any superpowers. Unless you count his money as a superpower.
That's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah.
All right, I think I'm done.
Okay. Good talk.